Jay. That went away, of course. Me, of course, catching up on my videos. Basically, what I'm trying to do. So I'll just be putting them out, catching up, and eventually I will start setting a schedule. Today is about basically the civil war we're having in America, and it's based on the media. We're having a civil war fought on social media, and you're getting all these, as I say, statements, false claims, accusations that has created an environment in our country that is basically separating people from each other. And with the misconception of everything from Trump to Biden, this is probably the first time that we've experienced such, how would I put it, purposely done, orchestrated diversion of the American people. Many don't remember Bush and the hanging Chad and different kind of close races we had throughout history, Kennedy, Nixon, you can go on and on. But it never ended like this one has ended. That loser would just go on about his life and go about his business and close his mouth. Unfortunately, that is not who Trump is. That is not who Trump has been. And that is not who Trump is going to be. And this was the dangers I said a long time ago in electing such an individual. He had no qualifications to be anything to me. He hasn't been a good businessman. He hasn't been a good person. He hasn't been a good husband. He hasn't been a good father. He hasn't been nothing. So there's no criteria for that man to ever been president. And I'm not saying I'm a Republican or Democrat, independent. I found out that I do live in Trump country, but I have changed a lot of minds of even Trump supporters because I make them see the truth. And the truth is this man never cared for you. This man is only about himself and has always been about himself. I still have the people that run around here trying to say I'm a liberal, Democrat, whatever. I can tell you why I voted for each president that I ever voted for. It was about character. It was about how they carried themselves, and if they had the swagger, and if they had that conviction to at least do something. The only thing this man has done is divided this nation and caused great grief. Now you want everybody to blame the next president for the problems the president before him created. That's how it goes. For every president comes in, he's got to fix the mess that he's come to. It doesn't matter if it would look good in the beginning. There's always been problematic situations in our economy and the structure, foreign policy, or whatever we may have. And people not understanding the transition of president to president, always the first year or so, it's been... I leave my phone on so many times, I forget. But these are things that American people, now that you have a ability to find out truth and check everything that you see and everything that you hear. You don't need Fox News, you don't need CNN, you don't need... That's why they do what they do. They create these stories to catch the people's interest, mainly older people, so they can have news ratings. Because everything you want to know, you can research yourself. They say, oh, great crime rate. No, it's not a great crime rate. It's a great violence rate. And it's a great violence rate with guns. People killing each other. Because they've been locked up so long, and the frustrations and the quick anger has created such an environment that people are like, I'm going to kill you before you kill me. The rise in cop violence created a rise in cop deaths. This is what this cycle does. If you create violence and you create an atmosphere of non-trust, Nobody's going to trust nobody. That's just the way it is. Back to the Western days, you carry your sidearm, and that's how you live. You carry your shotgun, that's how you live. And a lot of people died, and a lot of people were murdered and killed. This is just the way life is. It's a cycle that repeats itself. Violence. Because we all still believe that we are deserve something, and if we don't have it, some people believe they just have the right to take it from you. And you just don't understand that there's nothing worth killing someone unless they're attacking your family. Ain't worth killing no one or taking something they worked hard for. You want to rob something, go rob a jewelry store, go rob a bank. All this federally insured. They get paid back. We as a taxpayer pay them back. So, for you go out there and rob and hurt another individual that worked hard for what they've got, you're less than a man or woman or whatever you want to call yourself. If you want to be a criminal, be a good criminal. Go rob something that it doesn't really hurt anybody. Like I say, a bank, you don't hurt nobody. You're not hurting nobody that in these Macy's and all these fancy places. You're not. They are insured. But when you go rob an average liquor owner that is working his life, he's going to fight you back because that is his livelihood. And you go kill him. Or you just kill somebody because they made you mad, or you kill somebody that, your wife cheated on you or your husband cheated on you. Those are not reasons to take a human being life. Those just walk away. Why don't you just walk away? Yeah, you're angry, but that's the problem with guns. You put guns in people's hands. That instance, they're not really thinking. That rage is thinking, and they pull that trigger, and before they know it, that person is dead, or they have that knife in their hand, and before you know it, another person's dead. But that all comes from what we're experiencing now. All this violence, all this hate, all this transgression against each other, that we cannot even see a common good to be good to each other. And during these times especially, there's a changing day, a changing life, changing of guard. We need to be taking it as a positive and trying to fix the problems that occurred previously. But we never do that. We just create more problems for the next president. It doesn't matter who he is or she may be. It's going to be problems because we cannot fix the ones we have now. It's just going to be a recurring cycle. And as long as you have political parties that feed into these things, and you have these organizations that are popping up left and right, and people are still, to this day, have not gained the ability to think for themselves, to believe in themselves, to look at themselves, and look at their own personal growth, and stop worrying about someone else's. Stop worrying about if you don't go to basketball games, don't worry about what they make, because you're not paying them. You're not buying no tickets. So don't worry about what they make. It's not your concern. Maybe you was a ticket season holder and you spend $1,500 a ticket, you should be concerned. But if you're not, you should. And as far as athletes, you got to learn how to manage your money and do better in the structure that you in. The majority of you come from poverty or struggling parents, then you need to go back out into society and develop ways to uplifting where you come from. Not going buying no Bentleys and all these things. That's why the Black Americans are not gaining their wealth, because they're spending it on frivolous things. Just because you're poor don't mean you got to go out and spend up your money and buy stupid things. That's just one thing that bothers me about people in general. When you come out of poverty and you gain a little money, first thing you can do is you buy the dumbest things. If you didn't have it before, what's the purpose of having it now? Just because you can? When you could take that money and develop something in your neighborhood where you come from, change the minds of the young people, to have a fun. Hey, you get these many good grades, boom, you get this. You get these many good grades, you get this. You do this in the community, you get this. $250,000 Bentley. You know what you could do in your community, in your schools, where you're from, and how you could change the minds of the youth? If every athlete spent what they spent on a car and donated it to a structure in their neighborhood that promoted education and development of young people, you will see a rise in young people educating themselves in science, math, the necessary things, English. You know, we will see a rise if you even had the dope dealers investing in their own community. It's going to always be drugs. So you got to understand what you're doing as a society and using social media to deflect the true problem, and which is we as a people. You can put on many cop beatings as you want. You can put on as many cop killings as you want. You can put on everything and continue to bombard yourself and bombard people and try to make people believe that you can't grow and we can't get past this. It's always been this way. And as long as you have a structured society that has a police department that don't control itself, a criminal element that don't control itself, you're going to continue to have the problems that you have. When I grew up, police were different. Yes, we had them little problems, but some of them knew that you kill mine, I kill yours. That's how the thing went. And then you had in your criminal activity, you either control your people or we control your people. Those things are now gone. Those are the true concepts of getting back to what we need to be, to start to structure ourselves to be a better society. And what bothers me the most, I continue to hear from white America or Trump with America, whatever you call it, make America great again. Please tell me when we were great. That's the one question I always ask Trump. When were we great? Oh, when women couldn't vote, black people couldn't vote. You were bringing over minorities to work in your chicken and your hog plants for $3 a day. Or you were stealing somebody's land and you were murdering people for their land, building railroad tracks across their country. Is that when you talking about America was great? Where you have people fighting in wars, but they don't have no rights back in the country they live fighting for? Is that your great America? And women, you boggle me the most. You act like you, especially white women, you act like you had a lot of freedom. You ain't get yours until the 50s. So what, 14 years before we had? You couldn't vote. You couldn't talk back to your husband. You had no land ownership rights. You had nothing. So for you to come out here to even have a concept of being a race boggles my mind. Or afraid of a black person or anyone. You should be afraid of that white man that you with, because he's the one that created those atrocities against you. And without those minorities, you wouldn't even be voting either. You wouldn't have the rights you have. You wouldn't be able to get nothing. This is what social media has done, divided us and kept people from going back throughout history and learning. They're pulling books out of school, so you better get quick about learning things. They're trying to put down a library. You better get to the library and start to learn things. Learn what the country is about, what humanity is about, what life is about. That's the social civil war that's going on right now. You have people out here trying to educate their people, and but you have a system that has much more money, much more power, much more ability to shut you down. Because you're not big on the technology they change every month. Or people just too busy worrying about dumb things or watching stupid videos that make no sense. The music industry declining. Yes, they're paying these artists millions and millions of dollars, but these are billionaires. They don't give a crap about the little chump change these fools making. They're funding this orderly behavior. They're funding it. It's not the record sales. They're funding them. What happened at the Drake concert with the other guy? Those kind of things. These are things that are being funded by a group of billionaires that don't give a crap, and your money they're giving you and you flying around here don't mean a damn thing to them. Because any day they choose to crash the market, they can crash it and you broke. And they can take everything from you. They've done it enough times in this country. This is the Civil War. Social media. Who can get their message out better? Who can divert the people's mind better? Who can navigate and manipulate people better? Won't be me. I won't probably get 2 clicks, or 2 clicks, or 3 clicks. But as long as I can reach that one person might be able to relay the message to the next person. This is what it's about, because you're never going to beat the media. You're never going to be able to outmaneuver the social system. It's faster. It has a greater ability to get across. But if enough people talk about something, enough people go out there and try to make a change, that's the difference it's going to make. You know, people always talk about crime and this and that. And crime has always been around. You know, and for you racists, on both sides, on all sides, black, white, Chinese, and you're idiots. You live in this country, you have no right to be a racist. This is not your country. This is America. It was built on America. Men and women have died. Yes, Native Americans, you were considered the first people, but you weren't the first people in this country. Okay? You develop into who you are through others coming to this country, landing on this land. So stop using that. This country, this continent is diverse from the French, the British, and the Spanish. They were the ones that run around colonizing everything. No different than China and Japan did the Asian nations. No different than the African nations did theirs. No different than the Russian or Yugoslavia or Serbia, whatever nationality Vikings back then did their regions. Everything stems from something. And it's always best to understand where it comes from, how is it developed, and how do you present it to your people so that they can advance. It's all about advancement of the people. The people that are in your community, that are in your neighborhood, that you see every day. You can't do nothing about the people in Texas, Virginia, anywhere else but where you live at. If you could change where you live at, and if you can change your block, to change the next block, to change the next block, then you'll see something grow. That's the only way we're going to change this country, is through getting together where you live at. Getting to know the person that you live around, that walks by you every day in your neighborhood and you don't say anything to. Getting to know them. Maybe we won't have so many sneaky little pedophiles around here. People got into the, and the people that are around them, then they know Mr. Johnson down there don't have your kids around. That's how it was in the olden days. You never like, but don't go there. Don't go there nowhere. Because people knew about each other. People are trying to be so secretive now that you are afraid of somebody knowing something about you. I don't give a crap if everybody know about me. I'm not afraid of who I am, and if you don't like it, of course you have a right not to talk to me. But I don't care if you got bad credit. I don't give a crap if I don't have this and I don't have that. Never cared. I grew up with hustlers. Hustlers are not thieves. Hustlers just find ways to make money. And if this dude can help me, I can help him. We make money. Hustlers not about robbing and killing and pimping and all that, using people. No, you develop ideas to make money. That's like the person with the molly, with the cards, you know what I mean? Or a person that's driving people around because they can't get a cab, they become the cab. That's how Lyft and Uber and all that started. Got a person's idea. That's a hustler. The hustler's going to do whatever it takes to feed his family, do whatever it takes to make money, but not to the point where he's hurting others. Now, you want to borrow money from me? It's going to cost you. That's right. I'm not going to be up there like I'm going to give you the $100 and, oh, give it to me when no, that I'm like a bank. I'm just more going to come to you and get my money. That's a hustler back then. Running numbers. Anybody got to tell you about on these? Ain't nobody telling you to gamble. That's why I tell people, ain't nobody making you gamble. Ain't nobody making you borrow money from somebody. And women, if you're gonna be out there in them corners and you need to, you got to get protection. But at least don't use a person that's gonna abuse you. Pay a person that's gonna protect you. Okay, that's that. Make your own business of your own self. That's how it goes in this country. This country is about to make itself about who is gonna make it and who ain't. They put out all this stimulus money and people blowing it on frivolous things while others are using it to advance themselves. And when all this is ending in maybe 5 to 10 years, it's going to see who rose and who fell. And the ones that have fallen, they had something planned for you. The world is not like it used to be. The world is not about your color of your skin. It's about the color of your money. How much you have and how much you have the ability to influence them around you. If you are a billionaire and you can't influence nobody to do nothing, you're worthless to them. Just because you're a billionaire don't mean they need you. They can destroy you. They can take your money. They can put you in situations where you lose everything. This is what it's about. It's about making money, advancing yourself, and how can you bring along the people around you? Can you get them to move or work or do whatever is necessary to develop to make the other ones more money? Because you're going to always be making money no matter what. Just make money. I don't care if I don't get no clicks. I'm still making somebody money. So you have to be able to want to do what you do. If you're doing it for money, then you need to get your stuff cleaned up and made it right so people will like it and it's presentable and everybody can be like, yeah, ooh, look at that. But if you're not doing it for money, but you're doing it for a message, don't worry about all that other stuff. Because the more you pay, the more they make. That's all it is. If you're down for what I'm saying to you, then you will pass it on to somebody else. Be like, look, man, check that brother out. Or, honey, check him out. Or check out what he's saying. That's what it's about. It's about bringing along people that really want to go forward and just can't find that gap. It's always a gap you got to navigate through life to make it. Because you always have those people that's going to try to stop you. And it's sad sometimes it comes from your own inner circle, family, friends. It is sad, but you still got to be able to navigate. You are going to have setbacks. You're going to have whatever it is that's going to set you back in life. You're going to have to be able to get up. Now, Rocky says, not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can take a hit and get up. That was like the saying back then. Can you get up from being hit? Life is that. Life is a hit, and it hits you. And then you get it down, and if you stay down, life wins. If you get back up, life gonna hit you again, and it's gonna keep hitting you. It's gonna hit you till you die. It is how you react to the hits, taking the hits that life has thrown at you. That's the most important thing you have to understand to make it through life, is taking those hits. If you could take those hits, then you can make it through life. If you can't take those hits, you have no chance. Your children have no chance. Oh, this person became a druggie. Then find out why. Don't always condemn what you don't know. Find out why. Talk to them. You'll be surprised who some of these people are. or were. But life hit them so hard, they just didn't get back up. That's the object of getting back up. That is the greatest thing you could do for yourself and your family and your friends, is go through a struggle and get up and keep going no matter what happens to you. That's life. And you might end up, like I've always said, if you make too much noise and too many people following you and you talking the right things, it might cost you your life, your career, whatever. But at least if you do go out, you go out for something right. You close your eyes and know you did the best you can. Not close your eyes and know you did the worst that you could do. You know, everybody try to base something on a religion, on this, that. It's all about being faith. And with that faith, and I don't care who you are, your morality inside of you, what the Creator made you, or if you want to believe in atoms, whatever it is, made you moral. And you feel when you know you're doing something wrong that is immoral to another human being, or atom, or anything. So the morality within you is you. That's your compass. How bad are you going to feel if you do this? How bad are you going to feel you do that? Use that as your compass in life. How making money, how you going to spend your money, and how you going to expand your money. You should always be thinking of your next generation. That's how rich people stay rich. Every generation working for the next, not their own. They've already been worked for. Now they're working for the next generation. They come together no matter if they disagree on each other. They may not even like each other, but as long as that money's flowing in correctly, they have no problem. That's what it's about. But we as a people, the poverty or coming out of poverty, we can't seem to do that because we hate the ones that made it out. You know, people always say, what did Obama do for me? What did Obama do for the black community? Well, he became president, fool. That's all he needed to do. He didn't need to do anything else. Because his background proved to you, he didn't come from money. He was mixed. His mama got different baby daddies. His daddy got, I don't know how many kids. His grandparents wasn't rich. So he came up to be president. That's all he needs to do for a black man. I tell young black men, I say all the time. It ain't about going to being the president and making a change. You're not going to do that. You're going to do as Congress and the Senate and those that are in power within them dictate. They allow you to do one little good thing. Everybody did something good. That's all you get is one. Obamacare, I don't give a crap what you media make it out to be. The best thing in that clause is that every child is covered. That's the one good thing he gets to do. He was able to get that in there, that every child covered. And trust me, rich people take advantage of that very well. So what I'm trying to say to you is stop looking at these different little organizations and different little affiliations and that bash the other side, but don't find fault with themselves. That's when you know you're dealing with something that is dangerous to society. When they find fault in the other guy, but they find no fault within themselves. That's dangerous. You should be finding fault within your own, fixing that, and allow the other ones to find fault in theirs before you find fault in them. Same thing in family, same thing in life. That's just life. You need to fix your own community, your own family, your own home, your own everything before you go out there and lay claims or blame to anyone or anything. You know, I'm so bewildered about this situation that's going on now because I run into people so many times and I see the most grievous things on back of people's cars. Wishing death upon a man, things like that, because you lost. That's just terrible. I'm bringing up past things as a person has done. If it was so relevant back then when it happened, people would have been known about it. But back then it wasn't relevant, so they didn't bring it up. But now they know they get you little group of people all excited and enraged where you are going on here speaking things from these organizations that are coming out and their lies, and then you sit up there and repeat that lie, and then you sit there and say, well, I didn't read the whole thing. This is your politicians doing this, people. These are people you voting for. Like I said, if you don't find fault in your own, don't look over at the other side. If your party is making mistakes, then you need to remove those that make those mistakes. Those in both parties, if they're making these errors in judgment, character, and decisions, they need to be removed and someone put in there with a better character and judgment. And to have a better character and judgment, you got to be able to listen to the other side. I've listened to all sides. I've sat down with Nazis. I really can't stand it. Why? Because you want to run around with a swastika flag. And that's a disrespect to anyone that ever served in the military. World War II, World War I. You are disrespected. You're just totally disrespectful. So most of them I don't talk to because they got a lot of psychological issues to run around with stuff like that. To put that on your body is just unbelievable. So I really don't deal with them, but I do have discussions with nationalist party. I have discussions with African American parties, groups. I have always discussed with every group. I'm not afraid to sit down and talk to you about anything. And I do learn different things throughout history. But I'm going to tell you now, if we keep making excuses, then guess what? It's just going to be the way it is. We're better off then than we are. We got more millionaires, more billionaires than we had back then. So I guess we're doing pretty good. You understand what I'm saying to you people? Each group got to help their own. Each group got to build their own. We as a black community got to build our own. We as a black athletes, I don't give a crap if you're making 30 million and the government taking 12 million and you still got 18 million. You need to take 8 million and maybe help your community. And take that 10 million and buy a nice little crib. But you don't have to take all that money and blow it. So you don't want to hear a brother like that tell you that, or you don't want to hear a brother that don't have what you have try to tell you how to do with your money. But you're putting that money over to some investment firm. Then find out your manager don't stole 20 million from you. Well, if you hadn't been trusting the fool and put the money into the community, at least you know where your 20 million went. That's what I try to teach you. These are the things I try to express to people. These are the things I try to let them know what's going on in society. This is why I search the dark web, the internet, all that, to find out what is really going on. What is the end game? My grandpa used to say, what's your end game? Nobody seems to have an end game. End game is, what are you doing all this for? If you're selling drugs, what are you doing it for? Okay? You're robbing people, what are you doing it for? If you're doing this, whatever you're doing, what's your end game? Well, it's getting pretty bad out here. But what is your end game? That's the whole thing of life, is what is your end game? Because when you die, what do you want to be known for? You just want to be a scribble on a plaque? You want to be known as an asshole? You want to be known as a good person? Or you want to be known as this rich dude? What's your end game? What's your purpose of even doing what you're doing? My purpose is to make a change. The smallest one, I don't care. If I could change one mind change another mind, and it just keeps going. That's my end game. So I'm going to continue to get on here and talk to people and let you know what's really going on. And like I say, we're in a period of a social civil war, and where they're using this medium, this platform, music, same thing. The decline in the morality and understanding of the musicians that are coming out today is ridiculous. And that's all forms of it. Country, hip-hop, pop, R&B, all has degraded itself down. And really against women. And to the point that it degraded itself down to just total dissociation from life and human and people. Because they're getting fed, so they believe that they're doing this and people are following them. No. When people are following you, you sell 52 million records. I don't care. You will sell because people want to have that product. They don't want it for nobody else. They want to have their own. Because that product is so good that they want to keep that product for themselves and have their own. Not a copy, but an original. All I hear about is this Drake, this person, that person. This one got $65 million mansion. That one got $55 million. Why? Yeah, it's an economic investment, but trust me, dude, you can do a lot more economic investment in your community with that kind of money. And you don't care where you live and who you are. It's always been proven, even the biggest criminals in Colombia that took care of their community, it was very difficult for you to come in there and even get them. They had to send the military to get a lot of these men with some of the atrocities they committed outside of that neighborhood. So if you a rapper and you do it for your neighborhood, ain't too many people gonna come in there and mess with you, bro. It's gonna be very hard for anybody to come in there. You take that $65 million and build up their stuff and build them and give some jobs out and help them be better people and help their kids clean them schools, fix them schools up. It'd be very hard for anybody to touch you in that neighborhood. Only ones probably can get through that neighborhood and get to you is the government. Ain't no fool gonna try you. Because that neighborhood believes in you. So maybe this will get out to some athlete. Maybe this will get out to somebody that got some influence in the athletic community. It's not about your color. It's about you as a human being understanding your economic power. Your economic buying power. Stop buying these Bentleys. Stop buying these cars. Stop buying these houses. Stop letting people tell you, oh, yeah, invest your money in real estate, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's a good investment, but fix where you're from because that is real estate also. And you don't know what kind of kid is going to come out of there. And one day, your kid may be sick, and that kid that came out of your neighborhood got the cure. This is how things used to work. This is how life is meant to be. But we have fallen off so bad that we don't even care about that next person. You know, I've seen it firsthand. I've literally seen how people can be firsthand. As a man laid on a railroad track, they kept driving by as a train came. And I was almost I'm gonna be honest, I was almost one of them. The morality just kicked in. I turned around, went over there and got him. And just asked the man why. He said, I want to end my life, but I had to explain to him, what you think you're going to do to that man that runs over? It's not his fault, no. But still, you're a human being. And in his mind, he took a human being's life. Maybe if he had been looking, he's going to question himself all the time. That's why I tell people, when you go out there and have these things and you do run out in the middle of the street to kill yourself, or you have somebody running you over or something like that, you are affecting that other person also. You know, because they maybe think they're second guessing themselves. Maybe I should have made a left turn. Maybe I shouldn't have left so early. So when you try to do things of that grievous nature and you believe you need to take your life, there's a lot of ways to do it, bro. If you're really serious. Those are the social civil war because people just go by. It ain't them. But if you have such a callous heart, trust me, one day it's gonna be somebody in your family, and usually it's gonna be somebody you close to you, and a lot of times it ends up being your own child. You can't ignore life. You have all the money in the world. I know the richest folks in the world had the worst kids. Some of the richest people in the world had their kids take their lives. They'll make it seem like car accident, blah, 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 but no. They took their life. Because you can't hide frustration. You can't hide a feeling of, you don't see your parents. All you see is a checkbook. There's no interaction. All you see is you got everything in the world. But the first time they go out in that world and somebody rejects them, they fall apart. They fall apart. And that's on the parent. People will be like, oh, Clebo and Harris. Well, that fell on the parents. Because I know I grew up, I wish I could have put something on. This is my room, don't enter. Please. Matter of fact, you ain't have a room. So, that's parents. In the world, kids who can put anything on their door, talking about knock before you enter. What the hell do you think you do? When you pay bills around here and get a job, then you can think about it. And then I know somebody help their parents pay bills and they still can't do it. This is where parenting comes. This is a social thing. Stop letting TV raise you. Stop letting, like I say, Disney Channel, all these other channels raise your children. Because I've seen the most worst kids on them shows. You want to talk about grievances you should be having in those shows. The music industry, what your children are listening to, doing. What's happening in sports in some places that they don't keep score. I boggles my mind. There's no winners, no losers. They can't survive like that. Just winners and losers in life. So, then they run into these situations, they kill themselves. This is the social civil war. I keep trying to tell people, when they say they're going to kill off 1 billion plus, they ain't going to tell you how. But they're going to accomplish their goal. And so far, they're doing a hell of a job. From people killing each other, police killing people killing police, kids committing suicide, drug overdoses, viruses. And this is happening all over the world. This is not just happening in our country. That's the one thing people need to do is get to be world knowledgeable. Then you won't think so different about our country. And you'll see that this is a much more global event. And this is a much more global idea that is going on. This is what Let's Get Real is about. It's about getting real with yourself and your whatever you want to call your race, nationality, culture, religion. It's all about getting real with yourself. And understand outside that door you walk out of every day is your enemy. Because unless you come up with one of the greatest ideas to make them money, you are nothing to them. So you have to develop a way to fight back. There's so many business opportunities out here. There's so many, jobs are hiring like ever. But the hardest part about getting hired at jobs is the people that hire these managers. These managers think they're better than the people they hire. So nobody wants to work for you. I've talked to several owners now. I says your management. A couple places changed their management. Now they're doing good. If you have managers that believe they're smarter and better than the people they work with, are not trying to develop those people, you can get rid of them. You won't have a hiring problem. You won't have a working problem. Anybody that's ever worked under me has always known one thing. I've taught them to be better than me. Strive to be better. Don't mean you're going to get there, because I'm always strive to keep my game up. It's just like I'm an athlete. I'm a basketball player. And when I DJ, there's always somebody. So I always kept my game up. But at least strive to do it. Strive to be better. Learn everything that you possibly can. Because I'm not going to always be here, which was the case of Mama Johnson. Manager became a female. Then I thought, that's how it works. I'm not guaranteed to be anywhere. I used to tell people, I'm getting bored. I need to do something different. Who wants to be next? Some assumed they would have that position, but others worked hard to get it. That's the whole thing about social civil war. Because I've looked at all the Trump supporters. Most of them work for their daddies and mamas, or family, or farms, or menial labor. So therefore, you're controlled on your ideology of thinking and doing. You get from underneath your parents and you learn something. Get away from grandpa and his old racist ideas. That's both sides. And you learn something. I've been around it all my life. Trust me, I know. Yes, okay, yeah, grandpa, did that happen? Yeah, that happened. Yeah, but this new days. Everybody ain't like that anymore. And it's the truth. You're going to always have racism, because racism is the ability to control the thoughts and minds of people and keep them in the position they want to keep them in. That's racism. Because you shouldn't be able to worry about if you don't get this job or you're not wanting to live in this neighborhood, then you build your neighborhood. You build your own. You build your own community. As African Americans or Chinese or whatever, you build your own. So there's nothing in this country that you can't do. You shouldn't want to be in a neighborhood they don't want you. They can't stop you from making money. Hip hop proved that. Jazz, R&B, everything they take, we made it better. That's one thing about African Americans. You can do a lot of things to us, and we keep on punching. And we come back stronger, come back harder. Now we got $1 billion. We got $1 billion industries. We got women rising faster than men. Because you men still out here thinking you whatever. I don't know. I can't even figure them out no more. But I know women are rising faster than men, especially African American men. But you same sisters that complain about, oh, black man gonna marry a white woman. Well, guess what? You black women to marry white men. So it's just an economic thing, to be honest. White men are marrying black women because they're getting tired of white women. Sitting at home not doing nothing. They don't met this corporate woman, just don't came up from nothing. It ain't about color. It's about how you've been raised. They come from money, so she's sitting on her butt doing nothing. Got a nanny. And he's out here in this world. The delusional thought, a man supposed to take care of a woman. That's the biggest delusional thought. That ended with Adam. Eve had to learn her own. Eve had to do on her own. And that's how women should be. You got to make your own. Have your own. Do on your own. You don't allow no one to take care of you. You take care of each other. I hate that word. Oh, my husband's supposed to take care of me. No, till you go and be broke. No, you take care of each other. And that don't mean you cooking at home. Kids get old enough to go to school. You need to get out there and get an education. So you can put money aside that if you do decide to buy a home, you can pay it off. You are equal in your development. You are equal in your growth. You got to be equal in your thought. That's the most important thing. This is how you defeat the social civil war. Stop thinking of get rich schemes, because they all put out there for that. These people are funded way before they even achieve the things that they say they have. To get you to do what they will do to make money for the people that started them. Learn, research before you do anything. It's always there. It's always going to be somewhere. Because you can't hide nothing. Not in today's age. Just like the whistleblower for Yahoo, Google. Eventually, you can find anything you want. So to fight this social civil war, it's been done and doing in the media, is you have to educate your children, your family, and try to get them to understand and see what you see. Like I say, you've been listening to WDLJ FM 108. I'm Derek. Let's get real. Have a great day. I feel too good.